We have here a dress with a serious identity crisis. Hi, welcome to my eclectic channel. My name is Agnes and I make videos for fun. And I wish I could tell you that we're going to turn this dress into something wonderful, but I just don't see it. So I'm going to separate the skirt from the bodice and see what I can do with it. I took apart the skirt and cut it to fit, and now it's time to put it back together. I've cut all of my facing pieces. I essentially mirrored the top of the skirt for both the front and the back. The only thing to watch out for there is that the fabric for the skirt is a little stretchy, so there was a bit of shrinking negative ease going on. So I made sure that the pieces were to the actual measurement for my waist because they do not stretch. I've applied fusible interfacing and now I'm ready to finish the prepping of those. I'm going to finish the edges with an overlock stitch. Just the short edges, those will go into into side seams. Now we're ready to close all of our side seams. That includes the skirt and the facing. The facing is fully assembled, and then the shell for the skirt is also assembled and it all fits. And now we want to put it all together. So we've got some lining to add, and we've got the facing. And then these arrived today. I need just one of them. An invisible zipper, 7-inch long. Cutting the lining is not going to be terribly difficult. I need a rectangle. The height of the rectangle is set by where the facing falls on the skirt. You can put it this way. And the fact that I don't want my lining to be any longer than the skirt. So this is how long I want my lining to be, from the bottom of the facing to above the hem for the skirt. And this doesn't have to be super precise. If it's a little too short, it's okay. If it's too long, well, that's okay too, because you can always hem the lining shorter. But I'll do it this way. I'm happy where it sits, and I'm going to go ahead and add a seam allowance here. So that's going to be how tall I want my lining. And then there's the width. So for the width, this is what we like to do. The lining is going to be attaching to the facing, the bottom of the facing. So that's what matters. And we want a bit of play. So what I want is my lining to be as long as that. So out to here. Again, this is not an exact science, but this would be out to here. I happen to have a seam here. Out to here would be almost exactly fitting to the facing. But that would give you very little play in your lining. And the lining is almost always a rigid, unless it's a knit. But in this case, it's a woven lining. So that one doesn't stretch. So I want some play. So what you do is you add some pleats. And they're just based on experience. I would say a minimum to add to the exact length would be 8 centimeters. I'm saying this because I'm thinking 4 pleats with 2 centimeters each. So I want a minimum of 8. I have a lot more than 8 centimeters here. I'll keep the whole thing, because if you get wider pleats, nothing wrong with that. You have more play. So great. I'm just going to keep the whole width. It's not going to be bunching up too much. You don't want to go excessive. This is a straight skirt, so I obviously don't want a super, I don't want too much lining under there. But did I? Interesting. Yep, I'll have to undo and redo. Genius, Agnes, pure genius. And now I want to pin the lining to the facing. I put a notch in the center of my facing and I'm lining this up with the center of the lining. And I'm going to pin them together and I'm going to form four pleats, two in the front and one on each side that goes on the back of the skirt. And again, nothing precise here. I'll just try to keep things symmetrical and even. All pinned. Now we stitch. All stitched. It's a thing of pure beauty. So I used the standard method for finishing my seams. I stitched, overlocked, and then I understitched. I'm linking a tutorial to understitching. It's real easy. It just ensures that everything falls nice and flat. There are my pleats, two in the front, two that will go in the back. And I give this a very good press. So the last step is to attach the lining to the skirt along with a zipper, my 3 pieces to all put together. I have found a good tutorial on how to do that. It's exactly my case, a lining with a facing and a skirt and an invisible zipper. I will link the tutorial under the video and I'll follow it myself to get this skirt finished. There are 2 things that I did that are not in the tutorial linked under the video. One is when I was pressing the center back fold on the lining, I was pressing that seam flat, I went all the way up. Even in the part where I had left it open to insert the zipper, I also pressed those seam allowances flat. It really helps when inserting the zipper. Another thing that I did that I saw in another tutorial on inserting invisible zippers was that I pressed the zipper. In the video, she says it will damage the zipper if you press it. It doesn't. It makes it easier to work with the invisible zipper. And for me, in my particular case, my invisible zipper foot would not function properly unless I pressed that zipper flat first. It's okay to do. At the end, the zipper does come back to its original shape, and you've got a nice invisible zipper installed. The skirt is done. I gave the waistband a good press and I hand stitched the hem at the side seam to finish. Now for the reveal. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.